Hello, my name is Kinga Maroszek and I'm an English teacher, and today we'll again focus on some ways how to emphasize what you're saying in English or what you're writing, because when you say something you can always use intonation, but when you write something it's not so easy. So let's have a look at some other ways of using emphasis. We've already covered inversion and cleft sentences, but still we'll have a brief revision here. But first we will focus on passive voice. Then we can use moving the time, inversions, as I said, as we know, auxiliary verbs, introductory adverbs, moving parts of speech, and cleft sentences, which were in our last episode. So, passive voice. In English, the beginning of a sentence usually gets more focus or emphasis. That means the focus is usually on the subject and what the subject does. So about the actions of the verb. By using passive voice, you can emphasize what happens to something or someone rather than telling who or what did it. The focus is on the action or result. More sentences are written in the active voice. Most sentences, in the active voice, the subject of the sentence does the action. So let's compare here. The ball hit the window, but Nick threw the ball, right? In the passive voice, the subject of the sentence is affected by the action. So the window was hit by the ball was thrown by Nick. Yeah, so here it's more visible. If you want to emphasize who did it or what happened, then it's easier to use passive voice here and it's more efficient, let's say. Active voice is more common than passive voice in English. You can use the passive voice when you want to tell about an action, but you don't want to tell who or what does the action. For example, Jim broke the window. This sentence is in active voice. It is clear who broke the window. Jim broke the window, right? But we can also say the window was broken. And this sentence is in passive voice. This sentence describes the action without telling who did it. The emphasis is on the action, not on who did the action. And another use of passive voice is when you want to emphasize the object and not the subject. For example, Tim lost the dog, so emphasis is put on Tim, on the person who did something. And this exercise is in active voice. Here the emphasis is on Tim losing the dog, right? But the dog was lost. The emphasis is put on the dog. So the sentence is in passive voice. The object became the subject. Here the emphasis is on the fact that the dog was lost, right? Another way of using emphasis is moving the time. English adverb, time phrases, and clauses can be placed at the beginning of a sentence to add emphasis to the time. We have two sentences here with less and more emphasis put in them. Less emphasis sentence is, I finished my exam right before class ended. But when you move it at the front of the sentence, we have right before class ended, I finished my exam. And there is more emphasis put in the second sentence. Another one. The alarm rang at 6 a.m. It's like a normal sentence, but if you want to emphasize the time, at 6 a.m. the alarm rang. Next, we can use inversion, which we were talking about some time ago, but still we can revise it quite quickly. So to invert means to reverse. So it's another way of using emphasis by inverting the word order of a sentence, by placing a prepositional phrase or another expression at the beginning of the sentence, followed by inverted word order. Inversion means you reverse the normal word order of a sentence. Instead of subject plus verb, we might add an auxiliary, so helping verb, before the subject. We do this in English to form questions, normally, but here we can use it to put more emphasis. She runs, so we have subject and a verb. The question normally looks, does she run? We have the auxiliary verb, which helps us to make a question, subject and verb. And again, he can drive, we have subject, auxiliary verb, and the main verb from the sentence. The question is, can he drive? Auxiliary verb, subject, verb. So it is like a normal question making, but here we can use it with negative adverbs, then we can use inversion. So in formal English, you can place a negative adverb or adverb phrase in front of the inversion for emphasis. Negative adverbs are, one more time, hardly, never, seldom, rarely, no sooner, not only, nowhere, in no way, never before. For example, a normal sentence: I have never witnessed such disrespect. And more emphasis: never have I witnessed such disrespect. Yeah, so we are just moving our verb which we use to make a question to put more emphasis. What else? I have rarely seen such beautiful colors. More emphasis we put when we use this time adverbial at the beginning of the sentence. Rarely have I seen such beautiful colors. The next one, less emphasis. I have seldom experienced such terrible service. And more emphasis with seldom at the beginning and the inversion. Seldom have I experienced such terrible service. Another one, less emphasis. I arrived home and was called back into work. And more emphasis, no sooner had I arrived home than I was called back into work. Yeah, it's more complicated as we have the action which happened firstly. We have it in past perfect here, right? Another one, less emphasis. I haven't seen such bad driving anywhere. Nowhere have I seen such bad driving. Yeah, for example, or never have I seen such bad driving. But here we have anywhere, so we should stick to it. So we have nowhere, just to make the inversion and with a positive sentence. Okay, less emphasis again. I do not agree with what she is saying in any way. And we can move it to the front. In no way do I agree with what she is saying, right? So again, we have the negative sentence, we have in any way, and in a positive inversion sentence with more emphasis, we should use in no way do I agree. The next one, you can use different tenses in the same way. Nowhere have I seen such bad driving. Nowhere had I seen such bad driving, right? Never have I witnessed such disrespect. Never had I witnessed such disrespect. Yeah, so both present and past perfect fits here. Here and there plus inversion is also quite common. Also in songs. You can also add emphasis by beginning a sentence with here or there followed by an inversion. There goes the taxi. There is the bus stop. Here comes the storm, here is your tea, here comes the sun, etc. Expressions beginning with no, not only plus inversion, and a prepositional phrase followed by an inversion are also quite popular. For example, no sooner, in no way, not until, not for a moment, only when. Less emphasis is in a sentence like that. I got home and realized I forgot my shoes. And more emphasis, not until I got home did I realize I forgot my shoes. Again, I do not regret marrying you for a moment. And more emphasis, not for a moment do I regret marrying you. Another one, I believed he was safe when I saw him. And more emphasis, not until I saw him did I believe he was safe. Some more, your electricity will be turned back on when you pay your bills. And only when you pay your bills will your electricity be turned back on, right? Another one, he realized he forgot to feed his dog when he saw her dog. When he saw his dog, it should be, of course. Okay, let's skip it. Okay, another way of adding emphasis is using auxiliary verbs, right? We can add emphatic auxiliary verbs before the main verb to stress a strong feeling, and we use them mostly in present simple and past simple. Less emphasis is in a sentence, she looks pretty in that dress, and more emphasis, she does look pretty in that dress. So we use the auxiliary verb which we normally would use when we want to make a question. So here we have she, so we should use does in present simple. Another one. I enjoyed my visit to the United States. Here we have past simple, so we can use did, which we would use for a question. I did enjoy my visit to the United States. Yeah, and remember that then we use the main verb as the basic form of it, right? Not with ed as we use did. His English improved. We can also use here present perfect just to make it emphasized more. His English has improved. We can also use this type of sentence with a tag question to confirm something we think it's true. She does like cats, doesn't she? Tom did say he's allergic to peanuts. Didn't he? You did clean the kitchen, didn't you? Mary has called you, hasn't she? Right? And what else? We can use introductory adverbs and phrases. So we can use such phrases as especially, particularly, above all, remarkably, and most importantly. So they survived, most importantly, which is like a normal sentence, but if you want to make a stress here, most importantly, they survived. He still loves babies remarkably. And again, when we put it in the beginning, remarkably, he still loves babies, it's emphasized more. Another one, I love you above all. And the other sentence more emphasized, above all, I love you. And we can also move parts of speech to emphasize the sentence. For example, we usually see him at the store. And we can say, usually we see him at the store. Another one, he carefully carried the glass bowl. Carefully, he carried the glass bowl. Another one, that is obviously the wrong key. More emphasis in the sentence, obviously, that is the wrong key. You will find the classroom upstairs. And more emphasis, upstairs, you will find the classroom. And the last way of using emphasis are cleft sentences, but we were talking about it some time ago, so you can click on the link and you will see this episode right here. So now let's come to some exercises. Firstly, we have auxiliary verbs do or did here to use just to emphasize a sentence. So let's try. I didn't like the story, but I like the characters. But I did like the characters, right? Why is he late? Well, he say he had some things to do. We have had here, so it was in the past. Well, he did say, yeah, so like he really said in other way. I don't know their mom, but their dad. But I do know, right? Present simple auxiliary verb. I don't like milk, but I do like yogurt. Yeah, and we mostly use it with verbs referring to our feelings. If we know something, or like, as you can see, most of the examples here are regarding like our preferences, or if we know something or not. She doesn't have a car, but she does have a bus pass, right? The next one, Alex finished all of the soup. Well, he does like soup, right? Next one, he doesn't like to watch television shows, but he, again, does like watching movies. I can't afford it, but I do want to buy a house. Yeah, but I really want it, but I can't afford. Do you think he would like a dog for his birthday? He does like animals. Another one with our preferences. I don't watch MMA, but I do watch pro wrestling. And let us see if everything was correct. I guess it was. Oh, there is no answer here. Yeah, here it is. You got 10 correct out of 10. Okay, so one more or two more exercises just to make sure we know how to use inversion, emphasis, cleft sentences, and all of the ways to make an emphasis. So we should type one of these words in each gap. So let's try. Under circumstances was I going to apologize to her? Under no circumstances, we have inversion here, was I going. happened was they had to restart the film. Here we have a cleft sentence. What happened was they had to start the film. Another one. It was Tony who told the terrible news. Yeah, so here we can use also the relative clause, but it's also used as a cleft sentence. The I'd like to visit most is India. So the place I'd like to visit most is India. That happened was they gave us a warning. So here, all that happened. Yeah. Number 6. Had I been to such an exciting event? And here we have past perfect, and it's about the time adverbial here, so never had I been to such an exciting event. And number 7, the we'd like to meet again are our family in New Zealand. So the people, because we are talking about our family members. So let's see if everything is correct. Yes, it is. And the last exercise here is to choose the correct answer. What I don't understand is why she suddenly decided to leave. Yes, what I don't understand is, and we are saying what. Do you think the children who are the problem or their parents? So do you think it's the children who are the problem or their parents? We shouldn't use here a double question. As you probably remember, we can't use double negation and double questions in English. So do you think it's the children who are the problem or their parents? The band was terrible. Heard such a dreadful noise. And here we are talking about inversion. Yes, we should use it. Never have we heard such a dreadful noise. Number 4. That Jamie is really lazy and he makes no effort. So the truth is, the question doesn't fit here at all. So the truth is. Number 5. Win the race, but she also broke the world record. So here we have but in the middle, but also something else happened. So we also use inversion. Not only did she win the race, but she also broke the world record. It was John, of course, who forgot to bring the map, as John is a person, so we use who here. I don't like Ali, but I do like her sister. Yeah, we have this auxiliary verb here just to put more emphasis here. And the last one, 2 men holding guitars. So onto the stage walked 2 men holding guitars. And let's see, everything is correct. So this is how it looks like with all of the ways how we can add emphasis. I hope it's clear to you. If you have any questions, you can always write to me. Do not hesitate to do so. And see you in the next episode. We will be talking about something else, something new. See ya. Bye bye.